In the year 2009, Lee Myung-Hoon, a trained assassin from North Korea, prepares to leave Seoul as he has his last meal with a woman he calls Granny. The two of them cheer, marking the end of Lee Young's mission. He then shows Granny a picture of his children, who he had left behind in North Korea before heading to the port. As soon as he gets there, Lee Young detects someone following him and manages to hold off the attack. However, he suddenly finds himself surrounded by multiple people, including the police, who tell him that he has been abandoned by North Korea. Knowing that he will not make it back to North Korea, Lee Young holds his children's picture in his fist, just as he is shot and killed. Meanwhile, in the Yodok labor prison camp in North Korea, Colonel Moon Sang-chul looks for Lee Young's 18-year-old son, Myung-Hoon, and daughter, Hyeon. He offers Lee Young's son an opportunity that he is unable to turn down. Myung-Hoon is told that he needs to become a trained assassin and serve his time in South Korea before he and his sister are free to leave. Fast forward to 2 years later in Seoul, a news anchor reports that a ship full of people who had managed to leave North Korea was found on Japanese shores. Among the people on that ship was Myung-Hoon as well. Once the authorities take them in, the young assassin tells them his name is Kang Dae-ho, and that he chose to leave the North because his entire family was wiped out. After his assessment, Dae-ho is adopted by two undercover agents who run a pharmacy out of their house. They pretend to be a loving couple, but after the social worker leaves them alone with Dae-ho, they tell him that he cannot interfere with their business and that he needs to keep a low profile. Something that Dae-ho does not have a problem with, since he wants to reunite with his sister as soon as possible without any problems. Later that night during dinner, Dae-ho's adoptive mother tells him that he will be attending school like a regular high school student to help him blend into society. This is why that next morning, Dae-ho finds himself getting introduced as a transfer student. His teacher makes him sit next to a girl who is often bullied for being a loner. Once classes end for the day, a group of bullies approach the girl and Dae-ho and start teasing them. When one of the bullies tries to touch Dae-ho, he immediately reacts by shoving his arm away. This results in him becoming the bully's new target. They take him to the school's rooftop and start patting him down until they find his wallet. They end up taking all of his money, but as soon as they pick up a picture of his family, he asks them to return it. Although the bullies don't want to give it back, their bullying is interrupted by a teacher, who puts a stop to it. Once all the bullies leave, Dae-ho walks toward his class when he notices the girl he was sitting next to, Lee Hyeon, standing outside a dance studio watching the other girls dance. As soon as he stands behind her, Hyeon tells him not to say anything before leaving. That night, Dae-ho is assigned his first task and he brutally murders a man in cold blood. The next morning, when he returns home from school, he receives a package containing a cell phone and instructions for his next mission. He is told that sleeper agents of Unit 8 who were undercover in the South had been killed by an agent from Section 35. His mission is to find a man named Buk Do-sun and kill him. Dae-ho immediately gets to work and arrives at a bakery, where he is handed a gun and bullets concealed inside a cake. After this, he heads to an apartment where he beats up a man for information. The man reveals that the only one who has seen Buck is a butcher. He then tries to double-cross Dae-ho, but he is too slow, giving the young assassin a chance to cut off his head. Later that day, Dae-ho walks in on his adoptive parents sitting with a man handling money and drugs. However, he ignores them and heads to the butcher's address and manages to get the license plate number of Buck's car. He ends up killing the butcher as well after, which he tracks Buck's car and follows him. He pulls up his motorcycle next to Buck's car, but just as he pulls his gun out, the other assassin is quick to react and ducks down. Dae-ho continues to follow his car, but is unable to finish the job as he notices that people are gathering around. Meanwhile, at the police station, the detectives go over the CCTV footage and start putting the pieces together. They link the attempted murder to the killings they had seen of the sleeper agents. On the other hand, Dae-ho returns to school as normal and discovers that Hyeon is still getting bullied. He watches as a group of bullies corner her and snatch money that she had been saving for her private dance classes from her. At first, Dae-ho does not want to get involved, but when the bullies rip open Hyeon's shirt, he walks into the room and beats all of them up. The following week, Hyeon disappears from school, leaving Dae-ho to wonder where she went, since she reminded him of his sister, who was named Hyeon as well. He finally gives in to his curiosity and asks one of the bullies of her workplace. He goes to Hyeon's part-time job, but is surprised to find that she has not shown up for work either. Her coworker informs him that Hyein is planning on dropping out of school. The next morning, Daho notices Hyein waiting for him at their school's entrance. She reveals that she is leaving and that she needs his help. Sometime later, Daho finds himself at a dance studio posing as Hyein's brother to help her sign up for the classes. Seeing Hyein excited, he begins to miss his sister. During this, Book finds out that Unit 8's safe is in a pharmacy and shows up at their door. He kills Daho's adoptive parents before emptying out the safe. When Daho returns home for the day, he immediately stands alert just as Buck attacks him. The two of them struggle to gain the upper hand, but in the end, Daho manages to kill the other assassin. He then blows up the pharmacy and heads towards a small roadside food stall, where Granny is still working. It turns out that Granny is a retired agent from the North, who helps sleeper agents until it is time for them to leave. He tells her that the pharmacy is closed before losing consciousness. That morning, the police along with the two detectives investigate the pharmacy and are able to find Daho's identity. Meanwhile, Colonel Moon sends Daho another package containing a new cell phone. As soon as he receives it, the colonel informs him that he can return to the North and be with his sister, as long as he retrieves an important package that had been stolen by Section 35. Daho takes his new weapons and heads to an abandoned warehouse that is being used by Section 35. He starts shooting at the agents hiding there and manages to steal a package from them. He discovers that it is a box full of diamonds bought from the money that was stolen from his unit. Knowing that it is his last day in South Korea, before he leaves for the North, Daho buys a sweater for Granny and gives it to her. Even though she pretends to not like it, she keeps it close to her, since she has recognized Daho as Ly Young's son. Daho then goes to Hyein's dance studio and watches her dance. When Hyein notices him watching her, she invites him for a walk. The two of them spend a few hours together, after which Daho heads to the harbor where he asks another sleeper agent for a boat. The agent arranges the boat for him, but as soon as Daho gets inside, the agent tries to kill him. Although Daho gets stabbed in the stomach, he manages to kill the agent and runs for his life. At the same time, representatives from the North meet with one of the detectives and offer him a deal. If the detective cleans up the mess that had been made by Section 35, the representative would give up the names of all the undercover sleeper agents of Unit 8. At first, the detective refuses to give their enemies what they want, but as higher-ups begin to pressure him to agree, he ends up placing a target on all the agents. As a result, the police storm all of the undercover Unit 8 sites and kill all the sleeper agents. Back in Seoul, with no place left to go, Daho heads for Granny's food stall, but when he gets there, he finds that Granny wearing the sweater he had gotten for her, holding a police officer hostage. Just as Granny notices Daho, she screams at him to leave. Before the police officers can turn around and see Daho, Granny lets go of the hostage and starts walking toward Daho. The officers take this as a sign of aggression and shoot Granny in the chest, killing her instantly. Injured Daho makes his way to Hyein's apartment and collapses on her rooftop. Sometime later, Hyein goes up to the rooftop and is shocked to find Daho injured and unconscious. She helps him inside and tends to his wounds, while the news anchor announces that Daho is an assassin who is posing as a high school student. A few hours go by and Daho regains consciousness. He immediately gets up to leave, but Hyein reminds him that they are friends and that he is in no condition to leave. Eventually, Daho agrees to stay with her while he recovers. The next morning, Hyein goes grocery shopping, where she is approached by the detective who asks her where Daho is, but she pretends to not know his whereabouts. One day, he receives a call from the colonel who tells him that he has arrived in Korea along with his sister. He insists that Daho needs to hand over the package before he can take his sister back. Daho immediately leaves for the location of the meetup. When Hyein wakes up to find him gone, she calls the detective who had approached her at the grocery store and warns him about Daho's meeting. The detective dispatches several teams of officers to find Daho and the colonel. When the officers find Daho, a shootout begins between them, giving the colonel a chance to escape, while his sister is taken in by the authorities. Too focused on saving his sister, Daho does not realize when his friend is kidnapped by the colonel, who once again threatens Daho to return the package before he kills Hyein. Daho rushes to another meetup location, where the colonel demands to see the diamonds. Daeho first ensures that Hyen is safe and then throws the diamonds in the air, distracting everyone long enough to kill several men and hide inside a room with Hyen. Just as the other agents begin closing in on them, Daeho activates a bomb that blows the building up. He gets injured in the process but does not give up and tries to get Hyen out safely. However, he gets caught by one of the colonel's men. As he tries to free himself, he orders Hyen to run away. As soon as Hyen gets out of the building, she finds the detective outside and asks him for help. Inside, the colonel, who had also managed to stay alive, points his gun at Daeho. Knowing that he might not get out alive, Daeho shoots the colonel at the same time as the colonel shoots him. Both of them go down, but Daeho survives long enough to get inside the detective's car. However, just before they reach the police station, where his sister is waiting for him, Daeho succumbs to his injuries. The movie ends with Hyen taking in Daeho's sister as a last favor to her brother who could save her life. That's it for the recap. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Hit the notification bell to receive updates on our next upload, and we will see you in our next video.